The Mandalay Bay shooting mystery, understanding Las Vegas Strip hotels and gunshot reports. I'll attempt to explain some basics which anyone who has never spent a day in a major Las Vegas Strip hotel can't possibly process or understand. As a person who spent so much time in Las Vegas for 20 years and has walked and moved through these hotels thousands of times, I'll say this. In every single hotel where shots fired were reported, I know for a fact you can't possibly hear gunshots from inside any of the others. So, for example, if gunshots were actually happening at Mandalay Bay, you'd never hear it almost 2 miles away, while inside of Planet Hollywood or Bellagio. These are where some of the other shootings were reported, and the poll witnesses were specifically hearing the shots inside those locations. No matter how you slice it, you would not hear any shots if you were located inside any of the other locations. To be fair, I'll add it's barely but remotely possible, with insanely specific exceptions for the places right next to one another, under absolute perfect conditions. But these rare scenarios are not what was reported by people inside these other hotels. Mandalay Bay is basically at the south end of the major Las Vegas Strip. Luxor is just across the street, yet guests at Luxor didn't even hear shots. But on the other hand, Mandalay Bay is about 1.7 miles from Bellagio and Planet Hollywood, the latter two being basically just across the strip from each other, meaning across the LAS-VJS Strip. It doesn't matter, nobody would hear unless the shots were fired within fairly close proximity with respect to the enormous size of these places. Even then it wouldn't be clear because there's loud music outside at the Bellagio fountain, people walking around talking and crazy non-stop driving, police, ambulances going to pick up people who got too high or drunk, and foot traffic on the strip. Inside these massive casinos there's gambling machines, restaurants, shops, people screaming on the craps tables, live music and headliner shows of all kinds going in multiple rooms. All these major casinos also have ballroom/conference areas where weddings, award ceremonies, and parties are active with their own music and sound systems, and these areas alone are huge in their own right, usually pretty isolated from casino floor and hotel areas for privacy. Even hotel and casino areas are almost always set apart from another, so hotel guests can rest without hearing all the action happening down on the casino floor. Mandalay Bay actually has 2 different hotels on the property, and many outsiders are unaware. The other more upscale hotel is now called W Las Vegas, but was formerly renamed Delano, and the hotel before that. So it's very important to factor in these things. So I see this funny narrative is everywhere, but it's complete nonsense. Obviously assumptions made up by people who've likely never witnessed the magnitude of these mega-sized hotels. I even had friends in a band at Mandalay during the shooting, and they heard nothing even though the shooter was upstairs in the hotel. They were near the casino floor. In reality, that's just how disconnected and distant everything is in these big hotels. My friends in the band were all grabbed by security and taken into a safe room. They told me they had no idea anyone was shooting anything, which makes total sense to anyone who's been in MB a few times. It's just not possible if you understand how huge and loud these casinos and hotels really are and how they're physically laid out. Sound science and physics don't work that way. The undeniable truth is the fact there were multiple shootings in all those hotels at the same time, and it's all been covered up. They also found a bomb in a car parked at Luxor in the parking garage. Las Vegas Metro has that on record, even though most people never even heard about it. If you don't know these things, that's ok. But please stop creating these senseless narratives. People are still confused enough to this day. Answers from officials were never fully provided. One of the biggest cover-ups of all time, in my opinion. Random reference for context. Ask yourself, why did not one single Texas school book depository employee who was downstairs eating run up to the 6th floor to find JFK assassins/shooters? Maybe that's too obvious on another level, but okay. Then at least ask why. When all the employees who were in the same building downstairs eating lunch were questioned, they never even knew any shots were happening upstairs. They were listening to the radio and eating. The simple answer is the physics of sound aren't what people think. Now just imagine any modern major Las Vegas Strip casino dwarfs that building dozens of times over. I hope this clarifies things a bit more for people to comprehend there were in fact simultaneous, multiple shootings and events that day. Why has never been answered.